What up, nerds? Welcome to the Nerdy Narrative, or should I say welcome back to the Nerdy Narrative? Maybe I should be welcoming myself back to the Nerdy Narrative. It has been a while. If you've been a subscriber here for a few years or a few months and you noticed I've had a little bit of an absence over the last few months, I took a break, and to be honest, I wasn't sure if I was actually ever going to come back to it. But now that I've had some time off, I've just had a break from everything, thought about what kind of content, if I did come back, that I would make, what I enjoyed, what gave me the most joy doing, and just getting all my ducks in a row. I've been working and I did a whole lot of training, took classes and all that sort of thing, and I think I've finally gotten everything ironed out, a new routine, and I think I can carve out a little bit of time each week to make some content. So enough about all that. Let's do what I came here to do today, and let's talk about what I have been reading lately. I'm not going to go over all the books that I have been reading since I took my break. I will have my Goodreads linked somewhere here on the channel. You can check that out. I'm just going to limit myself to the last 3 books that I read. The first one, the most recent one, and it was a DNF. I was shocked. It's the second book in the Hexologist series by Josiah Bancroft, A Tangle of Time. I am shocked. I absolutely loved the first book in this series, loved the characters, loved the magic system, loved everything about that book, and I went into book 2 expecting the same. The first couple of chapters where we're getting reacquainted with our characters, Izzy and Warren Wilby, was in love. I didn't really like the mystery. There was like a main overarching mystery and then a much smaller one. And what that was took a huge chunk of what I loved about book 1 out of play. And there was so much meandering. I did read 20% of the book before I decided to throw in the towel. It wasn't going anywhere. I mean, we were literally not advancing the plot whatsoever. There was a lot of rabbit chasing. There were several chapters where the Wilbys, like mostly Warren, would be telling a story about a past adventure that would then tie into something that happened in a later chapter. So you know you only got told that story because the author was going to use it later as a plot convenience. I wasn't feeling it. I was not wanting to pick it back up, but I said I'm going to get to my 20%. That's my personal mark of how much I'm going to read in a book before I decide to make the determination if I'm not going to finish it or not. Though there have been times where I didn't like it so much in the first couple chapters, I put it down. So I DNF'd that one, and I was pretty shocked about that. My second most recent finished read is The Day That Never Comes by Queve McDonald. This is the second book in the Dublin trilogy if you're reading them in publication order. I am doing this reread in chronological order, so I think this one's like book 5 or 6 if you read them chronologically. And you might be going, wait a minute, did you say 5 or 6? You just said this was a Dublin trilogy. So Queve McDonald is an Irish comedian, and he is an Irish comedian who cannot count. This series actually has, I think, around 15 books in it. They're broken up into trilogies and quartets and standalones, but they all tie in together through the character of Bunny McGarry, who is just the absolute best. He is unhinged. He's super funny. He's got this Cork accent that the narrator, Morgan C. Jones, he is just so good with this series. Love it. It's a crime thriller series, and in this particular installment, it's the second book in the Dublin trilogy that involves Paul McCrone. And so this one, Paul is actually trying to find Bunny. Bunny has disappeared. He's been missing for about a week. They don't know where he is. And all of the people that are involved with this little private investigative, they haven't even really gotten it off the ground yet. They're trying to get it off the ground, but before they can even get it going and open, Bunny has turned up missing. And then we have this mysterious woman who comes in to hire Paul to follow the guy she's having an affair with to make sure he's not sleeping with his wife. It is nuts. It is hilarious. This is such a fun series. It's something I like to split up between my more complicated, complex reads, and I've just been rereading them as I've had time. Most of the time I'm doing the audiobook because it is a reread, and I just love Morgan C. Jones' narration of the series. And then the last one of my most completed reads I'm going to go over today is The Sound of the Dark by Daniel Church. This is a standalone, I would call it psychological horror. If you read and loved The Patient by Jasper DeWitt, you are absolutely going to adore The Sound of the Dark, at least the first part of it. And then it turns more into a supernatural thriller. So what attracted me to this one, and I did read the ARC. I requested it as soon as I saw it on NetGalley because I love Daniel Church. I think he's only got 3 books available right now, and I've read all 3. While it was the author who initially had me requesting this book on NetGalley, it's the book description that put that final nail in the coffin and had me cracking it open as soon as I got it downloaded off of NetGalley. So The Sound of the Dark is about our main character, Callie Darker. She has a true crime podcast called You Like It Darker, and she takes cases that aren't famous, they're not well known, and she dives deep into them, and she's a little bit different with her approach. She actually tries to understand what happened. She's not looking for sensationalism. She's not trying to shock people. She's not zeroing in on the gossipy part of things. She's actually trying to do justice to the person's story and to the people, the victims, the people who are affected, the family members. And so that's how she ends up getting a line on the next case that she decides to focus on for the podcast. So back in 1983, a local artist named Tony Mathias, he begins work on this big exhibit he's going to do. And what happens is he snaps. He starts acting very strangely. He sounds like he's getting sick. He's like covering up with all of this clothing. He shuts himself and his family inside their caravan for weeks until the neighbor happens to look up one day and he sees the children running out. Actually, I'm not going to go into that much of a detail. What I will say is Tony ends up brutally killing his children, his wife, and then himself after he sets fire to his home and burns everything down. And so this listener of the show, the podcast, emails Callie about this one and asks her to look into it, and she is very intrigued. The only thing that changed in Tony's life was he visited this abandoned military base called Warden Fell. And the thing about Warden Fell is over the many years it stood there, the military has used it a few times. But every time they decide to use it, they leave all of the previous buildings alone and they build new buildings. And the base never changes. It never seems to rust, the buildings aren't falling in, it's not dilapidated, and they just kept adding on. So as it stands when Callie gets involved, it's not being utilized, and so Callie decides to investigate, and oh my goodness, this was one of those, I was laying in bed reading one night, and there was a chapter, it was the worst chapter in the world to be reading in bed. And y'all, I have this new thing that I got on Prime Day. It's this like gooseneck thing that attaches to my headboard. It's a Kindle holder, and I have a remote page turner on my Kindle now. I am literally laying in bed like on my back, and I have my Kindle. It's just right here. Like I'm just chilling, laid back, relaxed. Got my clicker. My Kindle's just right here, and lights off because I read until I fall asleep. There was a chapter. Well, let's just say that the lights go off at Callie's house, and I was like, okay, this is not one I can read in the dark anymore. And my dumb ass, the next night, I'm like, okay, surely there won't be another chapter like that. There was. Now, I love the psychological thriller horror aspect of it, and it did change. We do get answers, and I have to say, this is one of those times that I wish I didn't get the answer. I wish it had been left a mystery as to what was going on, like alluded to but not solved sort of thing, like definitive answers given. Now, on the other side of that, if it had been that way, I'll probably be sitting here complaining that I didn't get answers. But I just loved the thrill of the not knowing, the intrigue, the mystery was just, I mean, I was just on the edge of my seat. It was scaring me. I loved it. When it turned more into a supernatural thriller, not so much. It lost a little bit of its luster for me, but I still had a really good time with that one, and I will still be. The next time I see something on NetGalley for Daniel Church, I'm going to be requesting it, and if I can't get it, I'll be reading it as soon as it's published. Really enjoyed this author. So that'll bring me over into what am I currently working on? I am working on my reread of One Piece still. I think before I took my hiatus, I had started my reread, and I am part of a little Straw Hat crew of my own, which includes Andrew from Andrew's Wizardly Reads, Jake from Nerd Level Rising, we have John from Talking Story, we have the amazing Dr. Philip Chase, and Zach the Storytelling Dragon. We've had, gosh, I think by the time this goes up, we've had 2 live discussions of what we've read so far. I'll have them linked down below so you can check them out if you're a fan of One Piece. The season 2 trailer, I can't stop watching it. I probably watch that thing every couple of days. I am so excited for that. I'm also reading A Game of Monsters by Ben Alderson, who is a fellow booktuber. You know, I hate saying goodbyes. This is the 4th and final book in the Realm of Fae series by this author, and I am just, oh my goodness. I hate saying goodbye. I have so many series that I literally just need to read the last book, but I don't want to leave that world. I don't want to say goodbye to the characters. You know, there's always so much that happens in that final book. But I had to with this one. I was the whole way through the 3rd book, A Court of Deception, I was like, okay, I'm going to take a break after this one. I'm going to read some other stuff. No. The way that one ended, I was blown away. Never saw that coming. It was amazing. So I had to get right into this one. And I swear Ben Alderson saved the best of his bag for last. I started it yesterday and I'm already 100 pages in, and I don't have that much time to read anymore, y'all. So that's actually a whole lot, especially when you throw in the fact that, yes, I am still reading multiple things at a time. So I've got One Piece going. I started this one. I'm also reading Janie Wirtz's Grand Conspiracy. Is this book 4? I think this is book 4 in the Wars of Light and Shadow series. I don't know what it is. This series has been a part of my life for months. I'm dragging it out. I read just a little bit every day. I just want to let Jannie's prose wash over me. I take it in small bites. There's so much to enjoy. I'm trying to catch every little nuance. Janie Wirtz does not waste words. She can say so much in a paragraph. So you read it for its beauty first, then you go back and say, okay, let me make sure I'm catching everything she's putting down here. And sometimes you're going, now wait a minute, that can't be all. Let me go back through. This is like one of those, okay, let me see if I can describe this to you in a way that fully gets my point across. Close your eyes if you need to. Think of your favorite food, whether it be a dessert, whether it's something savory, your favorite food. You love it so much, you don't get it that often because you love it so much and you want it to be such a treat. And you can smell it. And you know when you take that first bite how you just want to melt from the decadence of it. Like you just, for me, it's a Heath bar. I love Heath chocolate bars. I do not eat them often, but that first bite, and I won't eat the whole thing in one sitting. I'm going to split it up just to prolong my enjoyment. That's what reading Janie Wirtz is for me. This has become a beloved series. There's 11 books in the series. It is completed, but I'm already book 4 or 5, I don't even know what book this is. I'm already sad about it coming to a close. It's been such a huge part of my life. Guess because I'm reading it every day, I don't know what I'm going to do when I don't have this series in my life. The plot of this series, it's so simple, but also it's so huge. It's such a grand scale. The simple side of it is it's about the complexities of morality. Half-brothers, Erathon Cephalon and Lysaer Seleucid, they are cursed by this mist wraith to where anytime they are in close proximity, they want to destroy each other. And it's not because they want to, it's what the curse of the bane of this mist wraith has caused them. And that's the plot in its most simplistic version. But it just the intrigue, the political scheming, just the different factions, and in grand conspiracy, the Coriani is this order of women who are sorcerers, enchantresses, and they have devised this plot. They're against Erathon. They've decided to try and help Lysaer, wipe him out, destroy him, and they're going to do it by playing on Erathon's compassion. He's a very compassionate person. He has taken refuge away from them across the sea because water, as you're probably, if you're somebody who loves to read fantasy, you know that can ground out magic. And so he's taken refuge away from them. He's way outside of their grasp. And what they're going to do is they're going to use this little shepherd boy that in a previous installment of the series, Erathon has provided aid to. And they're going to use him in this plot, and they're going to basically put him in harm's way to draw Erathon out. Oh, and that is a very simplistic description, but it's so much more than I cannot wait. This is another series that I am part of is it a read-along? I guess it's a read-along. But I'm a part of a group that's reading the series for the first time. I've got live discussions for every book. I missed the last one, which was my favorite in the series so far. I mean, it could change. I've just started this one, so I think this is book 4. I missed the most recent one, unfortunately. It was on Labor Day weekend, and I was on holiday with my husband. I am so sad that I missed it. This is a series I don't think I'll ever get tired of talking about, but absolutely love it. If you love epic fantasy on a massive scale, amazing descriptions, character development growth, I cannot ask for more in that department from Janie Wertz, especially as a character-driven reader. World building, the scale of world building is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. You cannot be upset with that series. It checks all the boxes. And then I have an audiobook going, and I'm still in my little fantasy romance, or I guess I would just call it my romance era. Y'all, back when I got into reading Book Lovers by Emily Henry, I have just not been able to go long without reading romance. And this one is strictly for the chemistry between the characters. It is not for the plot. I'm not going to sit here and try to lie to you. It does have a little bit of an interesting magical system. It's about alchemy, which I dig. I do love that. But the plot, that's a backseat. These two main characters have a chemistry that just, oh my goodness. And the narrators, I am so out of practice with doing this. I did not make a note of who the narrators are for this book. I will absolutely mention that in my next video because I'm sure I'll have this one finished by then. We have a narrator for each of our characters, and my goodness. The narrator who is doing the voice for our male main character, yes, please read me the phone book. I don't care what it is. But this one has just been a fun read. I have seen this book everywhere. And one day I just saw it again. I can't remember. Maybe there was an announcement for a film adaptation coming. And I finally said, you know what? I'm going to see what the hype is about this one. I opened up Libby, put a hold on it with my library. It came through, and I've just been having the best time. So that'll bring us to what's next on the TBR. What am I going to read next? Now, 2 of these are absolutely set in stone. The third one is up for debate, and that is because I have so many books that I have on hold at my library. but I have 2 that have come up recently, so they're absolutely gonna get read next. The first one is Exit Strategy by Martha Wells. That's the 4th book in the Murderbot Diary series. This one, I've had so much fun with this series. So what happened was, years ago, I read the 1st book in the series, All Systems Red. Absolutely loved it. Completely got caught up in booktube stuff and never got around to continuing the series. When the Netflix series came out with Alexander Skarsgård as Murderbot, that show was absolute perfection. And y'all coming from me, that is very high praise. You can ask my husband, go back, look through some old videos. Almost everything that I have watched where I watched the adaptation after reading the book, hated. Only if I watch it first and then read the book do I not end up hating it. So I'm one of those people that if I read the book, you are not going to want to go to a movie with me. You're not going to want to watch a show with me because I'm going to be one of those that hate on it. I had the best time with the Murderbot show. Loved it so much, and they stuck to the book. They changed one thing, and the thing that they changed, that they added, in my opinion, was brilliant. Brilliant. Instead of you reading about the soap operas that Murderbot was watching, they would like show clips of the show. Oh, it was so good. Had the best time. It reawakened my love for the series. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go back. I'm going to reread All Systems Red, and I'm going to continue the series. So here we are. I'm about to start book 4. I thought the 2nd book in the series I wasn't going to like. It took me a second to figure out where they were going with it. And once I realized, I was like, oh, I am in for this. And the 3rd one was really, really good. Had a great time. And I was like, okay, I'm going to take a break on the series after this one, read some other books. Got to the end and I was like, oh, hell no, I need the next one right away. And then that one, all the rest of them were available immediately on my library. Book 4, I had to wait like 2 months. 2 months. So that one's next on the list. And then yesterday, my hold on the audiobook for Hemlock and Silver by T. Kingfisher came up. Now, I know it is a Snow White retelling, a dark one. That's all I know. Anything by T. Kingfisher, I'm going to read. Like, as soon as I saw it announced, I don't even think it had a cover yet. I was going into my library and Libya like, oh, let me put a hold on this. I put a hold on everything. Like, the physical book, the ebook, and the audiobook. I'm like, whatever I get to first, I'm going to read this one. So that one is going to be up next. And then, barring no other library holds coming through, I'm going to reread In the Hills Above the Grist Mills by Calvin Ellis. This will be a reread. It is the 1st book in the Paisley Mott series. This one is about Paisley Mott. She's a YouTuber who covers true crime, which, I mean, I'm sure you've noticed a theme. I love true crime. I love reading books about people who love true crime. But I'm rereading this one, and then I'm going to read the 2nd book in the Paisley Mott series. And I am so curious about book 2. And I really, really wanted to read book 2, go straight into it, but I just can't. I'm one of those serial rereaders. Anytime a new book in the series comes out, I have to reread the previous books. So I am going to allow myself that pleasure. And the 2nd book, though, what has got me so excited for that one is Calvin Ellis, the first narrator that he hired to do the audiobook, said it was so scary they couldn't do it. And I'm going, that is right up my alley. So I can't wait to find out how that one's going to go. So that is going to be a wrap on today's video. A little long, I know, but we had to get all the stuff out of the way. If you have any questions about anything, I will be happy to answer them. Drop them down in the comments below. Let me know what you all have been up to, what you've been reading. What are your favorite books you've read while I was gone that you think I should consider putting on my TBR? Love to hear about what all you've been doing. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one.